And I'll start with you, Craig, because I have to say, when I saw this myself, I was actually surprised at Stevie's reaction, particularly the fact about having lunch. What do you think?
Well, I don't know. Well, one thing that caught me was I don't know how Stevie plays darts that it becomes a dangerous activity. You know, I think a dangerous activity would be maybe going parachuting with your mates or skiing down a downhill slope on your time off and, you know, smashing your cruciate or something. But look, at the end of the day, this is a kind of macho coach image where whenever somebody new comes in, and I've seen it and we've all experienced it when we've played, they lay down their rules and they try and lay a marker down. Stevie is right in one sense that, you know, a ridiculous set of rules will get a player's back up. Now, whether we consider coming in an hour and a half before training is ridiculous or not, I don't know. I know in my day, it was half an hour before training. Some of the lads didn't even make it in 90 seconds before training. I don't think that's accepted now. So I think you've just got to accept that he is going to put some rules and regulations down. But trust me, these will probably go out the window within a few weeks. And it'll all boil down to results. And I had to laugh at the meritocracy as well, because let's be honest, life is not a meritocracy, full stop. So he's up against it there.
Frank, would you agree with what Craig's saying?
Of course, and I agree with what Stevie said yesterday. I think it's ridiculous in a way that, you know, every coach wants the players to behave like grown-ups, and they treat them like kids. We don't need a babysitter. We need a coach. We know what we want. I remember that I signed in England because I was happy to not go to the hotel the day before, especially when we were playing at home. I bought my bed. My ex-wife was a very good, nice cook, and I didn't want to go to any hotel to have a very bad English food and a very bad bed that I didn't choose. And that's where I don't understand that, the curfews thing, the fact that you have to be on time 1 hour and a half before the game. You do what you have to do. You know, I was skiing. I started to ski, I was 7 years old. I skied all my career long. I think you're not allowed to get injured, but why do you want to forbid something? I never fell where I was skiing for like 30 years. So I know what I have to do. I know I was going out with my friend, with Petrescu, with Ferrer, with all my friends, Di Matteo, in a restaurant. But I knew 48 hours before the game that I had to stay home. I didn't need a babysitter to tell me what I had to do. I mean, I want to see what Busquets is thinking about that. A world champion, European champion, many times Champions League champion. I mean, they're not kids. And we have to stop treating the players as kids.
But Busquets must know, obviously he's played and won it all with Xavi. Is Xavi not just trying to bring the good times back by implementing these rules?
Well, maybe so, but I think more so than the conversation we're having now, the question that kind of came to my mind was, I can only imagine what was going on in this locker room prior to Xavi getting there. I mean, what has been happening in the Barcelona locker room that he feels the need to say, hey, you guys got to be on time? Really? This is a reminder for players that you have to be on time, that you're going to be fine if you're not on time, that you have to prepare for games, that you have to rest up and get your body ready. Players at this point in their careers, this sort of players for Barcelona need this sort of reminder. It only tells me that the structure of this locker room was all over the place and that these players were doing whatever they wanted, whenever they wanted. If indeed that's the case, then I understand why Xavi is doing what he's doing. But man, when did it get out of control in Barcelona? And that's the part that you have to address. And if Busquets and Piqué and Ter Stegen, all these guys have been around for years now, they too had a hand in this. And those are the players that you have to address and say, hey, how did you let this get to this point where people just do whatever they want, that I now have to come and implement 10 rules? Honestly, being on time is a rule now? I mean, I would have thought that at this level, players would know to show up whenever it is that they need to show up. And if they don't, they get fined. Simple as that. I think we've all been in teams where actually there were players that would be the ones in charge of the fines, and those are things that are left to the players as well. You don't make it on time, you don't make it through, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, you get fined and you deal with the players. And usually the players police themselves. Usually it's not the managers having to police the players.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.